NGC TV Live. In conversation with NBC Bearings. At Bauma 2024, could you introduce yourself and talk about the products displayed here at Bauma 2024?
So my name is Rajesh Premchandran and I'm the Chief of Sales and Marketing Officer. And what we have showcased here are products that we use for the construction industry. The construction industry and mining industry is very important for us because these industries use a lot of bearings. And our focus is not just in India. We are making a lot of products that once we focus on the Indian market, we can also export, because we are doing a lot of exports already in the automotive segment, and we want to target the industrial segment. So what you're seeing here is some of those products which can support us, not customers here, but global customers.
What's the biggest innovation you've made since the last few years?
I think I'll make a more broader comment and general comment, given the fact that we are doing a lot of work outside of India. And what we have seen as a major change, especially post-COVID, is two things have happened. The Indian market has suddenly become very attractive. More and more customers are looking for a China plus one strategy. So that, I think, has changed the way, business in India is done globally and for the Indian suppliers. If you look at the number of foreigners who have come here, it's evident that things are changing in India. And I think it's happening for two reasons. One, the costs in Europe and US has gone up significantly, as a result of which they want to make sure that they have more low-cost sources. So that's why they're coming to India. So rather than trusting a Chinese source, I think they're looking at India as a source. I think the second thing that is actually driving this change is that as much as they're saving costs here, because the Indian market is becoming big, if there is a COVID-like situation again, they don't want their productions to suffer. So they're also making sure that Indian suppliers are ready to support them in their growth.
What features make your product stand out?
Yeah, I think one, of course, is our cost position coming from India. Now, that is one part which benefits customers. Second, I think, is the fact that they're getting it locally and it's available. I think third, when you talk engineering, we're not just like supplying it, like the other manufacturers. They also might be doing it, so I won't claim that we're doing something unique. But I think what is changing in the market, which we are well tuned to do it with our application engineering support, is that applications are becoming more dense. People want to make smaller equipments but having the same output. So from a bearing point of view, it's about changing metallurgy, changing the steel that is needed. And the second thing that we are seeing is they want to reduce failures, they want to reduce downtime. And that in bearings means that you will need to make sure that you have special coatings for certain applications. So rather than using the same steel that you're using for some applications, certain applications will need coatings. So our experience in rail, our experience in the automotive industry is going to benefit the mining and construction industry. Why did people go to China many years back, right? They went because of the lower costs of operations, labor, and all those kinds of things, right? So we have the same advantage. Will it stay for the next 10-15 years? Yes. Beyond that, maybe not. We'll be in the same situation, right? That's a part of the progress in which we make. But I think the trick really is not about whether you can make it cheaper and as a result of quality here. Because quality today is a given. You can't even survive in the market if you don't have a good quality. I think that we will need to make world-class quality, because they're comparing us with our major competitors who've been in the business for more than 100 years, right? So they're not going to just say, okay, I'm willing to do it, because a bearing is a very small component in the overall equipment. That fails, the downtime is so high that it's not worth it, right? So they won't change it just because we are low cost. But if it benefits it and it gives us the same quality, they're more than happy to take it.
How do you balance cost efficiency, quality, and sustainability of your products?
I think sustainability is going to become one of the biggest drivers of change that we will see in the industrial space and the automotive space or the rail space, because companies have become far more responsible in what they do. And for that, what it means is that first we'll have to reduce our carbon footprint. So there are things in the plant that we are doing. We have an ESG program that is running, where we are looking at all sources to reduce electricity on the usage of solar, etc. But when it comes to bearings, the main important thing is every bearing needs a certain amount of friction. By reducing that amount of friction, we can actually save on fuel costs, right? That much amount of less torque is needed to run those bearings. So it's that fine design that you will need to make lower friction bearings. So that's one area that we are focusing on, and it's going to become the norm for the future. The third thing, which is more not just related to us, but what the industry will need, is to get green steel. All these equipments use a lot of steel, and unless steel becomes green, which means the steel that is being made should come from electricity that is produced by green sources, which means either they'll have to convert all their steel sources into using electricity which is coming from the solar, wind, or any other source of doing it. So I think that is a change that is going to happen. I think that's going to change the way things happen. The third aspect of sustainability is they want products to be much more closer to their facilities. For example, if I have to sell to Europe today, by 2030 they are going to be carbon CBAM regulations, which means that we will be taxed more if you're going to have lesser carbon footprint, right? So we are also working actively to do it. Customers also are struggling with this, because they're saying if that has to happen, then steel plants will have to be set up. So it's not an easy thing to for the industry to work on, but that will have to be done. I mean, if we have to do what we need for our planet, these are the things we'll need to do. So that's the changes that's going to happen. Next.
How does NBC envision Viksit Bharat with their line of products and technologies?
I think if there was a better time to be anywhere in the world, it is in India today, right? And I say it from the perspective that 200 million young people are coming into the workforce. If I take my own example, and if I take my daughter's example or take my dad's example, it just tells me the way the wealth has shifted. The time you bought your house, the time you bought your flat, etc., or your car, etc., has dramatically reduced, which means there's a lot more money coming into the workforce today and spending, and that's the real big benefit that India is seeing. And all those people are going to spend, India is going to do well. So I think these are golden times. There's no other place anywhere in the world that you can be in than being in India today.
How has your experience been at Bauma 2024?
I think it's the first day, but I think what is encouraging is to see that lot more focus on India, and I think that builds confidence in our business plans, our investments, etc. So from that perspective, it is exciting. When you start seeing this, so many companies wanting and people coming from all over and looking at it, just gives you confidence. But just let's wait for the next 2 to 3 days. Yeah. Thanks.
For more such insightful conversations, subscribe to NGC TV Live.